is I'm the Southeast Military and Veterans Coordinator for the Military Outdoors Program. And we've got myself born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. So I'm a city boy that's been forced to turn into a country boy. So also outdoor adventure. My first time whitewater rafting was when I got out to service, and I went down to okay, I guess they don't want to. So I went whitewater rafting for the very first time in Costa Rica in 2005. Got a gnarly scar from it. Fell in class 5 rapid. So I've had experiences outdoors before I got involved with the military outdoors. However, we relocated to Atlanta, Georgia, with my wife right here, Rita Haynes. And she was telling me that environmental organizations were looking to hire vets. And I kind of thought she was pulling my string because I'm like, what do they want to do with a bunch of old military veterans? But lo and behold, the Sierra Club had this great program. We'll do the next slide. So this is kind of just like, some photos from my background. So that's in A school when I was a sailor. This is a picture from the Hike for Peace. She had like a little pointer. So, Hike for Peace. This is actually when I went whitewater rafting in Costa Rica. That's me hanging out with some great veterans from the Military Outdoors Program in West Virginia. It was a 100-year flood there when we went out there. It was backpacking to raise awareness around turning the birthplace of rivers into a protected land. So who better to protect the land than the veterans themselves? And that's just Bluff, Utah. We do a military veterans only in military sweat lodge on the Navajo reservation. It's one of our most special events we've been doing the last 4 years, and it's coming up this November. So if you know some folks who want to experience that ceremony, it really helped me as I transitioned from military to civilian. But I didn't, I got to go to Utah and do it with the actual medicine man. So it's pretty amazing. But I used that as I transitioned out. So I was in the woods, Illinois. It's all flat. There are no mountains. In the backyards of Chicago where it's snow. So, next slide. This is a great video called The Land We Defend, and it's going to give you kind of an in-depth look into the military outdoors program and kind of why we have this. All right, there it goes. All right, let me know if you can't hear it. I think you guys hear it.
Nature is the common language that we have as human beings. And it's something that we often have to reconnect to.
Yes.
Thank you. Can people hear it?
This was our education. Talk about preserving and protecting our wild spaces because they restore our soul. What better advocates than our frontline patriots, being frontline patriots now for the environment, for conservation.
You get out of the military and public lands in America are really the best way to continue to protect that idea of democracy and to help fight for what makes America great.
Protecting this space here at home is as serious as protecting it abroad. It's not from every high-rise building or every bank account. It's from every mountainside. Let freedom ring.
Anytime you're outdoors, you're there, you're in the moment together, your minds are being blown together, and you really start to just connect with each other. Well, I'm Rob Vessels.
My name is John. Last name is Boyd. My name is Joe Barrow.
I'm Kim Crumbaugh.
My name's Michael Nixon.
I'm Tosh Kanda.
My name is Aaron Bear.
I was in the Army for 5 years as an infantryman in the 10th Mountain Division.
I did just short of 14 years in the military. I was a first mate, 3rd class in the Navy.
I'm a Vietnam veteran. I was with SEAL Team 1.
I'm active duty, Air Force.
I served 4 years in the U.S. Army as a combat medic.
I had to go back to my hat as a Navy vet. living and coming back to the civilian world, or any event can be a traumatic event. And so this is one of the greatest bounties that this organization has provided. Wow, you want to talk about therapy? It's the best therapy in the world.
I grew up in Dallas, Texas, and grew up on video games and always being inside. My freshman year of college, just like really loved. It was my first real outdoor camping experience. It's always kind of had a healing power for me.
After I graduated high school, I was in basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia. So I never really integrated into society. The outdoors offered a place where I could get out of my own head and recover mentally.
When you spend all that time overseas and deployed, it's a different environment. And you come back to America and it's like your love for this country like just grows. In 2005, I was diagnosed from Muir with brain cancer. I just was tired of everything, and so I took my dogs and my Jeep and I went to a state park and I hiked for a couple miles and dropped a tent. When I come back to the outdoors, I'm reconnected with myself, reconnected with God.
I did my first hike in Grand Canyon in '69 as I was going overseas, and as a whole, it's just... Sorry about that.
I did something. All right.
Beautiful. So overpowering and so inspirational. At one point in time, being a patriot, being a soldier, being a protector of the environment was a core value. And I think that it got silent for a while. And this program allows us to bring that back and break that silence. The only silence that we want is just the silence and the serenity of nature.
I've never met any of these guys before 2 days ago, but it's, we share a lot of experiences and share a lot of the hardships, of reintegrating. I guess it's kind of like therapy. Yeah.
Connection of wild areas. And the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon is only a portion of what's very important to the American people. Just the simple things that can restore, repair the damaged or injured soul. The simple things that can allow a father again to talk to a son. A simple place or space to allow for that connection to humanity, to creation again. Nothing can be more elegant than that. Our mission was more than just a program, but it was Ben's mission to help other men's missions to come home. Preserving these places, these wild spaces, allows us to use nature to heal.
I think nature could definitely get me back to the person I was before the cancer. That was a big part of me getting out of the service. I felt like I was pulled out of something that I was passionate about. And here I can immerse myself in something I'm passionate about. And that's definitely defending the land that I still love.
My best conservationist, my best lover of the serenity of nature, the best steward who will defend doggedly will be a vet. We're always on watch. We're always on post. And even at the point of restoring one's soul and connecting back to nature and connecting back to family, we're always on watch.
So, any thoughts about that video? It's kind of, I did it better than I can do in my presentation.
I didn't know who was leading it, or was anybody leading it?
I can safely assume that my colleague Rob Vestal is probably the leader for that one.
The guy taking the pictures?
Well, the really tall guy.
Oh, the real
beard.
tall guy?
Yes. Well, I guess it's two tall guys.
Aaron Muir's pretty tall.
Aaron Muir, yeah, they're like the same height.
That was Aaron on the video?
Yes.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah,
the
I thought
gentleman
he
with
was,
the glasses.
looks familiar, and I
Yeah,
just
he
like,
was the Sierra Club.
He was the president before, right before me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I mean, we took pictures with him, you know, when we have
The
some.
foundation board meeting here in
Yeah.
Atlanta. Well, in Atlanta last March. Well, yeah, March.
Yeah, February. It was the club and foundation boards, both of them.
Yep.
And, yeah, and he was here for that.
Yeah, then who was the mayor, was here.
It was a big dog and pony show. Even
Yes.
Yeah.
even
Couldn't had a bigger leader than that.
even
Mike Broom.
Mike Broom show.
Ponce de Leon, yeah, Michael,
Yeah.
yeah. And Ponce City,
Ponce City
Ponce
Market.
City, yeah.
No, it wasn't City Market. It was on the Beltline.
It was on the belt line.
The belt line, there you go.
Yeah.
See, I went, I just
Yeah.
said, oh yeah.
So
Aaron was at that. And Aaron, I don't know if he came to the last retreat.
Yeah,
I
he
think
has spoke.
Yeah,
He spoke
He
before
may
we
have
went
met
into
him
Cumberland
there.
Island.
yeah.
yeah. So I mean that video was made a couple years ago with a couple of partners. So it's a well produced, really nice video.
Really well done. Very moving.
And it's the land we defend. So the Sierra Club Military Outdoors is a program designed to see who will be the people who best advocate for public lands and to protect those public lands than the men and women who served in our armed forces. Take an oath when you join the military, as fellow veterans can tell you. Like myself, when I joined the Navy in 2001, to protect and defend the Constitution, but also the United States of America. And that includes everything that's part of the United States, not just the people, but as wild spaces, for the people can enjoy, and we have for future generations to come. Because you probably want to take, your son or daughter or kids on a trip to come to places like this, or something as grand as a Grand Canyon, pun intended. And the Sierra Club, as you already know, its mission is to explore, enjoy, and protect the planet. And since the veterans, we swore oath to protect the United States and its citizens. Part of that is, not only our freedom of speech, but also our protect our wild spaces. So, John Muir was the founder of the Sierra Club. But what people don't also know is he actually led the first military outdoors outing to convince President Theodore Roosevelt to make Yosemite National Park a national park. He advocated for that. And Theodore Roosevelt made Yosemite one of the first national parks in the United States. And from what I understand, the United States has a lot of public lands, more so than many other countries. So it's one of the things that America has done right. And so our very first outing as a Sierra Club was a military outdoors outing. So that's pretty cool history right there. Our first president of the Sierra Club, he was also an Army person, like you said. No offense. But he also served in Mountaineer 10th Division. Same division that Rob Vestal, who you saw in the video, served in, my colleague. And also he's in charge of the National Military Outdoors Program. And he has a quote: "We don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow from our children." So our impact is always, felt. And if we want to leave a better land for our, nieces, nephews, our own sons and daughters and grandkids, then we have to protect it while we're here. And that's what the military outdoors is all about. And just a quick facts about the Sierra Club. Some of you already know these facts. Some of you might not know these facts. But the Sierra Club has been around for over 125 years. And we see that integrating the military and veteran community is a great way to get a larger group of people involved with what we do as a Sierra Club. So, the goal of the military outdoors is to empower veterans, military, and their families to be outdoor leaders. So what I really like about this program is not to say, hey, let's take some veterans outdoors and have a feel-good moment and then go home. But the program itself is designed to take those veterans take those military, take their family, and train them to be outdoor leaders, so they can lead trips, whether it's to the Grand Canyon or to a place like here in Amelicola Falls, anywhere in their local communities. So it doesn't have to be a big grand trip. We kind of set the bar pretty high, but you can lead a trip in your own backyard or in one of your state parks, or or at the Grand Canyon. It's all about kind of getting folks to be involved and taking folks outdoors. And we see these are just great pictures from some of the things that we've done as military outdoors. So we have the Memorial Day River Run. We had the Green River Trip. We are out in West Virginia. So we got programs running throughout the country. And we have veterans and military who are leading these outings, whether it's in the local communities or national and state parks and forces. And what we want to do is we want to find volunteers always. We're always looking for people to volunteer. And you don't have to become a leader to be part of the military outdoors. You can just join us for one of our outings. And we have outings leaders throughout the country. And what I'm trying to do here in the Southeast is create a strong network of outings leaders and volunteers. Whether that's people who like to raise money, because these trips do cost money. We also have veterans who might not have the outdoor equipment or gear. That costs money. And if we raise funds, we can get those individuals tents, canopies, and things of that nature that they might need. Sorry. Also, we want to educate the public about the Sierra Club Military Outdoors. So we're growing. My job is to grow this program in Georgia. We're in the great state of Georgia right now. Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina. And what we want to do is have a large presence in all these states, having veterans be advocates for the land that we defend. We once defended, again in a different way. We've partnered with multiple organizations through our time, about 2 years at the Sierra Club. Team River Runner, which is a veterans outdoor organization that helps wounded warriors get back into nature on the river. So they specialize in kayaking, rafting adventures, things of that nature, and they have adaptive sports equipment. We also work with other organizations like Outward Bound. This 2018, we hope to do an outings leader training. Kurt attended our outings leader training this year in Towson, Tennessee. We want to do it in North Carolina at Outward Bound. That's a big outdoor organization. They have a veterans program. We have a veterans program. Why not come together? We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can just build these alliances. Hope for Warriors, Team Red, White, and Blue, Emory Veterans Program, all some of the programs that we've partnered with and worked with in the past. And we will continue to build relationships with other organizations in the future. So a couple things. We got a lot of stuff coming up in 2018 that we're getting on track. So we got our outings leader training. We hope to have that in 2018, April. And we also want to have our Natahelia Outdoor Guide School, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. That's a workforce development program to get veterans and militaries into careers in outdoors. We also have our Echo Company Retreat. So this will be the first time that the Sierra Club Military Outdoors has put on an event for an entire battalion that served together in the theater of war.
Oh, wow.
So we're working with Warrior Union Foundation to make that a reality. And hopefully we can have that right here in Georgia at the Covington Future Farmers of American Outdoor Center. Yeah, Sam?
You might want to add a caveat that back in World War I or World War II, the 10th Mountain Division was trained to ski by the Sierra Club.
Oh yeah.
So,
David Bauer.
maybe that's in the first time we've ever trained.
No, David Bauer, the president of Sierra Club, was in charge of that, so that's how he got involved. So
Yeah.
we have a long history with service members, and we want to continue that tradition. Also in Virginia, we're going to do next summer a wildlife refugee kayak. So we're partnering with the outfitter out there. He's also a veteran who owns his own outfitter. And one of our leaders from Towson, JJ, is going to work with us to lead that trip. So, pretty cool. We're also on Facebook. And these are just some quotes from veterans who actually came to our outings, men and women who had that experience to come out and connect with their fellow military and veterans and enjoy the outdoors. What I like to tell people is our program is healing through nature. But since we're working with vets and military, as Sam can attest, we're kind of rough and tough, as my wife can attest. So we don't like all the touchy-feely stuff. So we kind of just say, let's go outdoors, enjoy ourselves, and from that, people start talking about their experiences, their trials and tribulations, and connecting with each other. So, you know, if you're hanging out with a bunch of Army folks or Marines and sailors, you know, a little bickering, but we're all part of the same family. We all, you know, whatever generation we served in, whether that's, you know, World War II, Vietnam, the post 9/11, Afghanistan, Iraq, we're all part of the same family, and we've all had our different experiences. And not every veteran's experience is the same. Some folks get into nature because they want to, you know, like some of the gentlemen in the video, to want to heal and find themselves. Some people just, you know, like to go outdoors and have a good time. And other folks want to integrate more of, I want to heal my veteran community. So leading outdoor outings with mindfulness, silence in nature, silent hikes, things of that nature. We have every type of variety of outdoor outing is available through the military outdoors for veterans. And what I like about our program is it's available to all veterans, all military, and it's not a time limit. So you can become an outings leader, you can lead as many outings as you want to. I suggest you probably do one a month, but if you want to be ambitious, you can go ahead and do that too. You can go to the next slide. So one of the big things we did this year was a Hike for Peace, where we combined the veteran community and the immigrant and refugee community. So on September 7th, 16th, we converged and formed up at Stone Mountain. Kurt was there, and we had a great hike with some refugee youth and veterans, and they really enjoyed it. And hopefully in 2018, we can do the same trip again. And it's kind of bringing these different communities together, because military outdoors is all about family. We're going to do our Memorial Day River Run. Last year was the first national outing that we did in the Southeast, because usually most of our big trips take place out west. And we want to let folks know that we got some beautiful outdoor spaces right here in the Southeast. So that takes place on the Chachuga River, and we're going to do that again this May for Memorial Day, the weekend before Memorial Day weekend, because we want people to show up. You do it Memorial Day weekend, people are going to be eating barbecue. So come out, raft with us for a couple of days, and then, you know, Memorial Day, you can have some good stories around barbecue. Go to the next one. Well, another thing what we're trying to do with the Sierra Club Military Outdoors is provide opportunities for veterans and military. So we've partnered with Nataheli Outdoor Center, which is a rafting company in Bryson City, North Carolina is their headquarters. But they have they're on rivers throughout the Southeast and in the South. And what we have is a veterans guide training program, a program that I had the pleasure of going through in March of 2016. Lornett Vestal's on the video, had the pleasure of going to. And we've done this for 2 years in a row. So we're going to do it the third year. We're going to do this again for the third year award. And it's a partnership between the Nataheli Outdoor Center and this military outdoors. And what the program is that our veterans sign up, they go to guide school, and depending on their performance, they have an opportunity to actually work the summer with Nataheli Outdoor Center. Has a river guide. And if they continue this, it's kind of a key into open door into the outdoor industry. Some folks have no problem working in the office, typing at the computer, but some people have a wanderlust for adventure, and what better way to take folks down the river. Our program has been successful. So this past year we had 20 folks who were offered jobs from Nataheli Outdoor Center. One of those veterans was a gentleman named Whitman Raven, who attended our Tennessee training in March, and he worked the river this past summer. They really, really liked him. And now he wants to do another in-depth whitewater rafting rescue program, outing/program with the military outdoors. So there's kind of ways you can pay it forward. So he's the outings leader, now he's a river guide, and now he wants to combine those two things to put on an outing for folks. So this is some of the things you can do. Okay, you can go back. Yeah. So with this program, it's only the first in the infancy. We hope to build this. I hope to build this and do programs with the Park Service that gets veterans out and about, and also connect with the Park Service, because those are great jobs for folks to have. One of the things we want to do as a military outdoors is provide a holistic approach, not just getting veterans outdoors and healing through nature, empowering them to become outdoor leaders, but also giving them other opportunities, as far as economic opportunities to improve themselves, their lives, and also their communities. One thing that we're doing this Veterans Day, we've partnered with the local chapter, Georgia chapter, to do a Panther Creek Trail hike and cleanup. And that's with the Park Forest Service here in Georgia. So that's a great combination of those two programs. So we got the Forest Service, we got the military outdoors, and we have the local chapters. And we're looking to reach out to other local chapters throughout the Southeast and build these relationships. I just had a good way to build with the Georgia chapter because I'm right here in Georgia, based right out of Decatur, Georgia. So, and the office has been really, really great at integrating the military outdoors into their chapter. And I was trained by a local outings leader, Lee Graham, and one of our other leaders, Matt Nichols, down in Columbus, Georgia, was trained also by Lee Graham. And he's been running outings down in south of Georgia. I've been running outings in Georgia and also across the country. And we have leaders like Kurt who are organizing outings in their local areas. So are there any questions right now? Yeah, go ahead.
So how is military outdoors connected with other outings? How closely are you coordinating with other outings efforts either here in Georgia? I mean, there was the example of the outing with immigrants, but other outings, are other folks coming into your training programs or?
So how we've integrated is, so with our training in Townsend, Tennessee, we had actual Sierra Club outings leaders from Sierra Club outings come and help train. That was Lee Graham and a couple other folks who came out to assist us with the training and putting that together. Also, utilizing our network in Tennessee, our outings leaders up there recommended the space, and they gave us a couple of spaces that they used for trainings before. So it's kind of a coordinated effort to get that all together. So I can't take credit for putting on that big training for the Southeast. It was other folks behind the scenes that also helped out. So that's one way we've integrated. This Panther Creek Trail is going to be another collaboration between the local chapter and our outings program, and also the military outdoors, and also the Forest Service. So there have been ways that we've tried to integrate the larger Sierra Club and our local chapters and our outings programs together. And the good thing about the outings is if you become an outings leader for the military outdoors, you can lead any type of outing that you want. So you can combine some outings with the local chapter and do joint outings, like we did for the hiking piece. Because that was a collaboration between the local Georgia chapter, Inspiring Connection Outdoors program, which is a youth program that gives young people outdoors, and also the military outdoors program. So it's kind of different things coming together to have a great outing. And with our leaders, we encourage them to start small and grow from there. So they don't have to do a big giant outing in the Grand Canyon. We tell them to think about it locally. What can they do in their local area? What places? Another thing that we're looking to do in the future is get our military outdoors involved with conservation efforts. And we have done it already. So my colleague Lornett Vestal took a group of veterans last summer to the Arctic Wildlife Refuge, and they canoed up there for about 2 weeks. And now he's based in D.C., and him and the other veterans who attended that outing has testified in front of Congress to keep that a wild space and not drill in the Arctic Wildlife Refuge. So this is just a way that we get the military outdoors involved with our conservation efforts as a Sierra Club. We want to get folks involved in all areas, whether that's just taking people outdoors or getting involved with protecting wild spaces and also protecting their communities, because a lot of these places are right in your own backyard.